I've been lucky because I've had this amazing Zen master myself for the last 17 years. And prior to him, I had, and still I have other teachers as well. I mean, he just, a note on him, he's called Yamada Masamichi. That's his sort of, regular name, but he's Yamada Roshi for those of us who have been privileged to study with him. And he's based in Tokyo and Kamakura in Japan. Has two zendos, one in Tokyo, one in Kamakura, and works for this big company called Itoki. But actually he's only, which is office furniture company, like I said, with 3,000 employees, and he's the head of it. But actually that was only the job he took after he retired. He was with Mitsubishi for most of his career, and ended up, I think, very, very high up, like in sort of the top three one of the top three directors of Mitsubishi Securities, I believe. And he was head of Mitsubishi in Europe, based in London for several years, and he went to Harvard Business School as a young man, and he had a superbly successful business life. And he always said, actually, the same thing that you just said. He said, at Harvard, he was a reasonably good student, but he wasn't the best student at all. And in his first jobs, he was good, but not like outstanding. But the one thing that he had was that he sat every single day from the age of 16, and that meditation just somehow gave him an edge, and he wound up extremely successful. There's a story about him actually that people don't really believe this when I say it because it seems so outlandish, but he didn't sign, but he set up the business work behind the largest check ever written. It was a check for $9 billion in, I think, 9 billion, I think it was, in 2000.
Yeah, 9 billion, yeah.
9 billion in 2009, when there was a critical moment when I think Morgan Stanley in Asia was gonna fall if it didn't get an injection of cash, and it was on a Friday, and it was too late to do a transfer, and he was I think a Mitsubishi at the time, and the check that saved them it had to be a check because of the timing on the Friday or whatever the circumstances, and he was partly responsible for that check having been written. So anyway, he's really a major sort of business figure actually in Japan and elsewhere, and but also has this deep, deep, deep spiritual practice in life. He's a wonderful guy to be around. He's extremely fit and healthy at the age of 84, and you'd think he was 55 or something. He's very friendly and kind and thoughtful, and sort of a deep presence. You feel it when he enters the room. The room changes a little bit, and a lot of people report that, not just someone who is a student of his like myself.